Terre Haute Mayor Brandon Sakbun joins us this afternoon. Always good to see you, Mayor.
Yeah, thank you for having me. As you know, it's been a long couple of weeks, and last week was definitely a long one as well. But happy to be here today to provide some updates.
All right, so let's talk first about the blighted properties. You know, that's something you've really been working on. And besides these properties just being eyesores, because you know these dilapidated homes, why else is it important to get them down so that building can take place?
So as you mentioned, you know, it is eyesores. There's also a huge safety concern, right? We have had those structure fires, and we're happy to announce that this July we'll be taking about 27 properties down. 85% of the properties that we'll be taking down through demolition are north of Wabash. What we have seen is a lot of our vacant lots are moving towards the development phase. So yes, it is going to be a lot for now, but we're prepping them. We're having conversations, and we're adding to the housing stock here in Terre Haute. And we're hitting record numbers this year compared to previous numbers, really utilizing some of those American Rescue Plan funds to help close that gap for some of our builders. And we're seeing improvements at all housing price ranges, whether that's about 100 to 150, all the way up to the 300, 350, to address the housing stock here in Terre Haute and Vigo County.
And you know, blighted properties, also a lot of people may not know, they're not on tax rolls. So the city's not making you know, you get some by living there, then that's just helping to improve the city as well.
And bring families back to the city limits, you know, increase that population, and let's get more kids in our school corporation, right? And let's kind of end some of the cycles that we're on and move to a new chapter here in Terre Haute.
All righty. Let's also talk a little bit about you are using opioid settlement money to hire a new social worker for the Terre Haute Police Department. So what can a social worker do that maybe is difficult for police to do?
Yeah, so you know, our law enforcement personnel over the last 20 years, as law enforcement has changed and adapted, are faced with all kinds of situations. So what we have seen is that our current social worker, of 177 cases that he has right now, 54% have successfully moved on to the treatment phase, whether they're going to maybe a Hamilton Center or a CODA or a Jabot. So what we are doing is we're rerouting folks who aren't, you know, committing crimes, or maybe they're down that path and slowly getting towards there. We're saying, hey, let's reroute this individual. Let's be that hand up and get them out of the situation they're in, because from a cost-saving standpoint, from a financial perspective, the cost of jailing in America is outrageous, right? We want more members to be productive in society and help them get to that path, and this program is able to do that. It helps our law enforcement personnel because some of these situations aren't violent or aren't criminal. So let's keep them on the road, keep them on some of the investigations they're on. So it frees up their time, and it helps us address some of the many problems here in Terre Haute.
Yeah, so a social worker could address a mental health issue, which necessarily you don't need a police officer for that, but you need someone who could get this person help.
Yeah, so we do see that mental health, homelessness, and a handful of child issues as well. Those are predominantly the cases that Jerem works on. So really looking forward to adding another social worker with a focus on case management and collaborating with some of the many adjacent agencies that work in this space. Even in our community corrections facility, you see social workers, you see career counselors really saying, hey, if you're in community corrections, let's do what we can to get you out back on your feet, and hopefully you're not a resident here again.
Get you some resources.
The resources needed, and these are the programs that we're looking forward to partnering with.
All righty. And so how about storm cleanup? We were talking about last Tuesday. What a mess.
It was. So, you know, in March and April, we really started working with Duke Energy to do some proactive tree trimming. Last year, we had 28 circuits break. A circuit is basically a pole connected to hundreds of homes. This year, we only had 12 go down. So we were able to coordinate quick recovery. The street department, wastewater, and even Parks and Cemetery were very active. Blessed to have that strong relationship with the county, because they really got hit in southern Vigo County, and we were able to get the roads open, and we've since transitioned to brush pickup. So we're really, you know, we divide the city out into zones. We're very strict on the logistical standpoint of how we can maximize efficiency and say, hey, if a tree goes down, how quickly can we get a road open? How quickly can we make sure it's safe with Duke Energy linemen coming out first or with us? And how quickly can we remove that debris from off the side of the street?
All righty, let's talk just a little bit about, recently you're to Washington, D.C. You met with Pete Buttigieg, who's the Secretary of Transportation, a fellow Hoosier, also used to be a mayor up in northern Indiana. So what did you guys talk about?
Yeah, so that was one of about 15 meetings that day. So met with a lot of individuals from both sides of the aisle, our congressional delegation, Congressman Larry Bucshon. You know, it's very important for me to make sure that Terre Haute's priorities are brought up at the federal level. So whether that's a federal agency that former Mayor Buttigieg is at, or to our congressional delegation, just to talk through larger problem sets, right? It could be Veterans Affairs, we're focused on infrastructure, EPA especially, as well as transportation. And we discussed some of the grants that we had submitted. We got some really good feedback on how to improve as a city when it comes to planning and infrastructure. And we talked about the Terre Haute Sidewalk Initiative, right? Getting that pedestrian safety down.
Yes.
Yeah, I did see that. I was happy. And, you know, we're addressing some neighborhoods east of 12 Points. We're addressing some neighborhoods in and around Basileus and Poplar. But that's just the start, because that software that we're going to go to the council for next week to get the funding for, that is going to allow us to create a data-driven plan to address sidewalks and pedestrian safety. That's been the focus of the current administration. You know, how can we use the data to match some of these federal and state priorities to help articulate our need for additional funding outside of the local tax base? Because you always want to get dollars outside before you get dollars inside.
You get those federal dollars, that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Very quickly, how proud of you are of your sister? She's a swimmer. She's going to the Olympics for Cambodia, because your dad is from Cambodia originally.
He is. He immigrated from Cambodia years and years ago. He's a genocide survivor, and I'm so proud of all my siblings. You know, my brother's a national champion boxer.
Yes.
My two sisters are just rock star athletes. One's still at Ball State, one since graduated, and you know, Thanksgiving gets fun, right? Yeah, that sibling rivalry
Are they
strong.
like, yeah, he's just the mayor?
Yeah, they get me. Trust me. They go, I was the slowest swimmer in the family, and they like to remind me of that. But I'm so immensely proud of my sister and wish her the best of luck. And unfortunately not able to sneak out there this year, but you know, hopefully there's another Olympics for another Sakbun in store.
Well, we wish her well.
Thank you so much.
Good
Thanks for having me. Good to see you.